From our Washington, D.C. studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hena Zuberi. Bipartisan push to block unauthorized U.S. military action against Iran. Lawmakers say only Congress can declare war. This and more coming up next. President Donald Trump says his patience with Iran has run out and has left open the possibility of the U.S. joining Israel's ongoing military campaign against the country. Speaking at a White House flag-raising ceremony today, Trump said, "Maybe I'll do it, maybe not. Nobody knows." He has also warned that the coming week could bring major developments. CNN and Fox News report that Trump is weighing military options, including strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. Diplomatic efforts are at a standstill as plans for top U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff to meet Iranian leaders were abruptly canceled. Trump is urging Iranian evacuations and claimed that the U.S. has total control of Iran's airspace. He has also claimed that U.S. intelligence knows where Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah al-Khamenei, is. The U.S. Embassy in Israel will remain closed till the end of this week. This includes consular services in both Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. The State Department has also ordered American staff and their families to stay indoors until further notice. The decision follows Israel's recent airstrikes on Iranian military and nuclear targets, which triggered retaliatory attacks from Tehran. Iran fired 2 waves of ballistic missiles at Israeli targets on Wednesday. This followed Israel's initial attack on the country last Friday that aimed at destroying its nuclear program and its military leadership. Sirens blared across central Israel and occupied West Bank settlements as around 30 missiles were launched. Most were intercepted by Israeli air defenses. No casualties were reported, but debris from the interceptions caused fires that damaged several vehicles. Soon after, the Israeli Air Force launched strikes on Tehran. Over 50 fighter jets targeted key Iranian military sites, including a nuclear centrifuge facility and missile production centers. Explosions were reported near a university linked to the Revolutionary Guard and other sensitive areas. Israeli forces also destroyed 13 Iranian drones and bombed 5 military helicopters in Kermanshah. Since the start of the latest escalation on June 13th by Israel, Iran has launched over 1,000 drones and 400 missiles at Israel. So far, at least 240 people in Iran have been killed and 24 people in Israel. 2 U.S. lawmakers have introduced a bipartisan resolution to stop any unauthorized military action against Iran. Republican Thomas Massie and Democrat Ro Khanna co-led the War Powers resolution in the House. They argue that only Congress can declare war, not the president. Massie says that U.S. should not be dragged into Israel's conflict with Iran without approval. Khanna says Americans do not want another Middle East war. The resolution could reach the House floor within 15 days. Senator Tim Kaine has also introduced a similar bill in the Senate. Lawmaker Ilhan Omar has called the Trump administration's deployment of troops during protests a disturbing shift for the United States. Omar said during a recent interview that sending the military into Los Angeles the same week as a lavish parade celebrating the U.S. military and President Donald Trump's birthday on Saturday was alarming. She compared it to scenes from dictatorships. Omar said that the U.S. is now looking like one of the worst countries, with soldiers on streets and a president propping himself up like a failed dictator. She urged people to reject the government's actions and defend constitutional rights. Omar also said this is not what the founding fathers of the U.S. had imagined. New York City's mayoral candidate Brad Lander has been released after being briefly detained by immigration agents outside a Manhattan courtroom. The current city comptroller was observing immigration proceedings when he was taken by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Landers and New York Governor Kathy Hochul later addressed the media, condemning the incident. Landers warned that he would be fine, but our constitutional democracy is under threat. His arrest comes amid nationwide ICE raids ordered by the President Donald Trump, targeting undocumented migrants. Federal agents have been detaining individuals at New York's federal courthouse for weeks. The crackdown has triggered major protests across the country, especially in California, where Trump has sent in National Guard troops and U.S. Marines to support immigration enforcement in Los Angeles. Lander's detention has added fuel to the growing public backlash against what critics called an aggressive and unconstitutional immigration campaign. Homelessness amongst older Americans surges 18% in 2024. Experts warn the crisis could triple by 2030. Details coming up next. Homelessness in the United States rose to 18% in 2024, with over 140,000 people aged 55 and older now living without shelter. Healthcare workers warn that this group is the most vulnerable, with many currently facing chronic illnesses with no insurance or support. Experts say that the number of older homeless people could be nearly tripled by 2030. Causes include the death of a spouse, medical bills, and unemployment. Healthcare providers fear that rising costs and potential Medicaid cuts will worsen the crisis, straining already burdened systems. Advocates are calling for urgent policy action to protect America's aging, unhoused population. Israel killed at least 47 Palestinians in Gaza on Wednesday, including 11 waiting for aid near the Netzarim corridor. Over 100 others were injured in the same incident, according to medical sources. In the past 24 hours, 144 bodies and 560 injured people have arrived at hospitals. Israel resumed attacks on March 18th, killing over 5,300 people since, breaking a short-lived ceasefire reached in January. Aid gatherings remained deadly flashpoints. On Tuesday, Israel killed at least 70 Palestinians in similar aid-seeking situations, making it the deadliest day so far. A bombing on a home in Gaza City's Al Zaytun neighborhood killed 3, including a child. Another in the Maghazi refugee camp left 10 dead. In Khan Yunis, Israel killed 8 civilians, including children, when it hit tents for displaced families. Israel has killed more than 64,000 Palestinians and injured over 129,000 since it began its genocide in October 2023. Israel faces war crimes charges at the ICC and a genocide case at the International Court of Justice. In northern Gaza, hundreds of desperate Palestinians rushed to an aid point on Tuesday to collect sacks of flour. With limited aid trucks allowed through the Zikim crossing, supplies fell short of demand. Despite security risks, many carried heavy flour sacks on their backs for miles. Under a blazing sun and through rubble-strewed streets, scenes of exhaustion and determination unfolded. Flour remains one of the few lifelines in Gaza's deepening food crisis. Aid agencies warn the situation is worsening fast, with no clear end in sight. A court in Bangladesh has ordered former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to surrender by June 24th or face trial in absentia on charges of crimes against humanity. The notice, which was published in national newspapers, came from the International Crimes Tribunal, which is based in the country capital Dhaka. Hasina has been in India since fleeing an uprising in August 2024. Charges were formally accepted by the court on June 1st, linked to human rights abuses during anti-government protests. Up to 1,400 people were killed in the unrest, including many children, and over 22,000 injured, according to the United Nations. A similar surrender order was issued for former Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and other ex-officials. Transitional leader Muhammad Yunus said that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi claimed he couldn't control Hasina's social media activity. Bangladesh has since lodged formal complaints with India demanding a curb on her online presence until she returns. Sudan's Prime Minister has ordered the reopening of universities in the country's capital, Khartoum. Dr. Kamil Al-Tayyib Idris has asked the Education Ministry to assess and repair damage to university buildings hit during the ongoing conflict. The war between the country's army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces has devastated Sudan's education system since they began in April 2023. It has killed at least 24,000 and displaced over 13 million people. The devastation has especially hit Khartoum. Idris has also urged the curriculum authority to include peace, unity, and anti-hate content to support national healing. Parts of the country are facing famine, and the UN says that the war has created the world's worst humanitarian crisis. Rights groups accuse the two sides of war crimes, including mass rape and ethnic killing, especially in Darfur. Emirates Islamic Bank has launched a program to help children in the United Arab Emirates under the age of 18 learn smart money habits and start saving early. The Alpha Youth account allows parents to save for their children while giving young users access to a special mobile banking app, a free debit card, and 0 monthly fees. The program also includes perks like daily 1,000 dirham prizes and special discounts on dining, shopping, and entertainment across the UAE. Parents can transfer money easily, monitor spending, and enter draws for up to 1 million dirham each month through the program. Deputy CEO Mohammed Kamran Wajid says that the Alpha program aims to build financial awareness early and support long-term financial planning for families. In some good news for coffee drinkers, a new study published in the Journal of Nutrition reveals that drinking black coffee or coffee with minimal sugar and cream may reduce the risk of death. Tufts University researchers analyzed data from over 46,000 U.S. adults. They found that consuming 1 or 2 cups of caffeinated coffee daily was linked to a 14 to 17% lower risk of dying from any cause, including heart disease. But adding over half a teaspoon of sugar or more than a gram of saturated fat per 8-ounce cup negated the health effects. Researchers suggest that the antioxidants in coffee may be behind its protective effects, but warn that cream and sugar can dull the drink's health benefits. The study also noted that decaf did not show the same benefit. That's all from our Washington, D.C. studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum.